Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Sean Fitz. I'm your host tonight of the SimRacingNews.net SRN coverage of the Dash4Cash series, the street stock action here at Legacy, Texas. I am super excited to say we are simulcasted across all three platforms of major platforms of social media: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and we appreciate you for coming along for the ride. Tonight, bringing you live coverage of the street stock race, Ian Martin's iRacing Super Stock League, right here on SRN. Qualifying underway right now, 7 minutes remaining. These drivers working on putting fast times in. Right now, Derek Batzer, he's showing the fastest time on the track right now. Currently sitting on the pole at a 36.950 to Ian Martin's 36.973. Ian putting down a quick time as well. He's currently good for second. Ryan McCall, he's actively coming down the backstretch here at Texas tonight, reaching speeds of over 140 miles an hour in these street stock cars. Current lap time has got him best in third at 37.002. We'll keep a track here as he comes across the stripe. See if that lap time is going to be able to improve. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. He's going to pick up, or he's going to lose about a tenth there in that lap. Let's talk about tonight's race and tonight's league here at Texas with the iRacing Super Stock League. So this group is a pay-to-play league. You come in every week and you play an entry fee, but top three positions in the field pays out up to it's up to a significant amount of money, near $70 plus each and every week. You come in, pay your $10 entry fee, you can walk out of here multiplying your money by multiple times. Definitely worth coming in and checking out if you're new to iRacing and haven't already been part of a pay-to-play league. This is the one to be in. Ian Martin manages this league and this group of drivers and does a fantastic job. If you are not new, or if you are new to the FBN or the SRN for that matter, bringing all the simulcast coverage over to all three platforms, then you will know, or you'll get to see here tonight, side-by-side racing throughout the entire field for most of the event. These cars generate a lot of side-by-side, a lot of drafting, a lot of wide-open racing across multiple tracks here on iRacing. And the good news, one of the better parts of this league is, yeah, you're paying an entry fee to get in, but the good news is you're not paying for content or the car. All tracks and the car is free once you join the iRacing service. So that is one benefit to jumping in with these guys and getting going. As I mentioned, a lot of fast drivers in here. Derek Batzer, 36.950. He's going to complete his fourth and final lap of qualifying. Ian Martin looks like he's not going to be able to do anything more with it. Christopher Bedwell, he's able to bump up to fourth right now. It looks like Ron McCall's so far bumping all the way down to seventh. Bedwell putting in a 036 rather, for his fastest lap, making him fourth right now. Chad Bassett's rounding out the top five. 37.095 on the board. One of the drivers we're going to pay close attention to tonight is Wyatt Martin. Each and every week, the Martin brothers are out here running side by side near the front. I expect Wyatt to be extremely quick here as he's putting down qualifying laps. With just under 4 minutes to go, Wyatt Martin puts down a banger, 36.994. That is good for third. You see him rolling the bottom of the racetrack here at Texas, really trying to work as much, cut the track as short as he possibly can. And there you have it, really cutting the corner right on the apron through the track. That's for his second lap. Not able to make up a whole lot of time here. This league allows up to 4 qualifying laps to get the car up to speed. Obviously, these street stocks are not meant for some of these tracks, but that's what makes it unique and a lot of fun to watch. for the iRacing Superstock League. Let's take a look back here on the TV cams as Wyatt Martin's on the outside. He's looking to gain some momentum. I got a feeling he knows that was going to be a slow lap, so he's going to do everything he can to get the RPMs up. This should be his quick lap. Let's keep an eye on the speeds as Wyatt Martin works his way around Texas. A 36.994 is his fastest time. To his brother's 9.73. Can he beat it again on the bottom of the racetrack through 3 and 4? Making gains, cutting the track, and he comes across the stripe. Doesn't look like that's going to do it. He's going to pull a 37.080. That is good for third. Ian Martin is able to sit comfortably in second right now as he's on the end of pit road. You imagine getting ready to go out and put down a time. And with that being said, it looks like most of the cars are good for qualifying tonight. It doesn't look like, actually, we do have one starting to go out. That's Carl Staton and that 88 machine. Carl, another fast driver each and every week here for the iSSL and the Dash4Cash series. And you'll see him put down some really quick laps. He hangs near the front. He tries to keep his car clean for the most part. He will be at the front of this thing tonight. That first lap gives him a 37.145. That's good for 10th. He may be able to make it around across the stripe one more time for one more lap here. Actually, no, he's not. He's going to make this is going to be his final lap of qualifying. I do believe he will not make it back around. With just 15 seconds left to go, or 10 seconds left to go, there he's going to come across the stripe. Carl Staton, that's good enough for 6th, the 37.080. Looks like he's going to have to call that good. And Derek Batzer is going to be your pole sitter tonight for the heat event. 5 laps here at Texas, and the Dash4Cash series drivers are going to take on this racetrack in a 5-lap shootout to find out who is going to, where you're going to start for tonight's event. Again, Derek Batzer starting on the pole. For tonight's heat event. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This coverage is being simulcasted across all 3 platforms of Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube for your convenience. You can also check us out online at simracingnews.net for more information. That is a work in progress. Still working to get a lot of information up there, but we promise we'll certainly get it in line. We've signed a lot of deals this week, bringing you a lot of coverage all over the sim racing market, from street stocks to radicals, truck series, Xfinity series. We're going to bring you 5 nights of racing a week right here on all the branded channels for Sim Racing News. While we're thinking, folks, and I do appreciate you tuning in, one other person that does as well is Jason DeLuna, a premier sponsor of tonight's event and each and every week here for the Dash4Cash series drivers. We appreciate his support. Without drivers or without folks like him not able to put on leagues like this, and Ian Martin, I imagine, is very appreciative of the support that Jason's provided over the last couple weeks. Derek Batzer's going to get him rolling. They're behind that Ford Mustang iRacing liveried pace car for tonight's 5-lap event. We're going to pay close attention to that outside line. Ian Martin's going to be quick there. But we're also going to pay attention to Wyatt Martin on the inside of row 2. And Ryan McCall on the outside of row 2 as well. Those drivers are going to be quick here tonight. This is a 5-lap shootout for these 13 cars to determine your starting place in tonight's feature event for the Dash4Cash series. The pace car lights are off, and he's going to duck down pit road. Derek Batter's going to get him rolling, and we're green flag here in Texas for week 6. Wyatt Martin able to take advantage of that inside line early. Ian Martin's going to fall back to third. Christopher Bedwell about a 4-car gap back. He's going to have the run. The uniqueness of these cars on the different tracks this group goes to is that a draft is really important on 90% of the tracks. And while big gaps can be formed there between the instance there of Ian Martin and Christopher Bedwell, they get caught up pretty quick. Within a lap or two, you are right back to that driver's bumper in front of you. Currently leading lap 1, Derek Batzer. He knows he's got 4 laps to hold on. Wyatt Martin shifting that car around a little bit, trying to find what works best, and he's going to slide to the outside. Ian Martin's going to roll with him. The brothers on the outside line challenging for the lead on lap 2. Oh, big accident there. Bedwell involved. Looks like Wyatt Martin also involved. Ian's going to assume the lead. No caution right now. Carl Staton is going to pick up second place there. Ryan McCall third. And William Alcala fourth. Ron McCall is in fifth. Again, these drivers, a couple gaps across the top 5 right now. They will get caught back up to Ian here, but will they have enough laps to do anything with it? And there it is, Carl Staton right to the bumper of Ian Martin. He's on the outside, going to take a look as they come across the stripe. 2 laps to go. Ryan McCall sitting in the catbird seat there. He's in third. Just a little bit back here, waiting for Carl Staton, Ian Martin to get tangled up here. He knows he's in a good spot. Carl's really fast. And McCall looking on the outside. Thinks better of it, but going to hang tight with Staton. Then ducks down, so does Staton. Gets right back on the bumper of Ian Martin on the exit of 4. 1 lap to go. It's a 19 event. Carl Staton, Ian Martin fighting side by side for the lead. Ryan McCall on the bottom of Staton. Half a car length now in front of him, rolling the bottom of this racetrack here in Texas. Ian Martin comfortably in the lead right now, but Carl Staton coming with a head of steam into 3. William Alcala now in the picture. Ian Martin getting off the bottom of 4 really well there. Not going to be... Oh, it gets turned! Carl Staton, I believe, is going to be scored your winner. Waiting for the final results to come in. As they get turned across the stripe, Ian Martin is going to be scored your winner. Carl Staton second. Ryan McCall third. William Alcala fifth. I'm sorry, William Alcala fourth, rather. Ron McCall fifth. And that's what I was talking about. Each and every week, these drivers bring exciting finishes, exciting racing to every broadcast that we cover for the Dash4Cash series drivers. And that right there was no exception, as we're going to get grid right up for tonight's 35 lap feature event. Ian Martin being the winner of the heat race, is going to start on pole. Carl Statton's going to start outside row 1. Let's take a look at tonight's starting grid. I'm sorry, there it is. Oh, that was off of qualifying, so we'll talk about it without the graphic there. Ian Martin's going to start first. Carl Statton second, obviously. Ryan McCall, William Alcala, Ron McCall fifth. Jonathan Meacham, Bill Watkins, Andrew Frelling, Christopher Bedwell's going to start 9th. James Batzer 10th. James driving one-handed after an injury. We'll see how he progresses through. Another quick driver each and every week. Chud Bassett is going to start 11th. Wyatt Martin involved in that incident during the heat race. He's going to start 12th. Derek Batzer, our pole sitter tonight, is going to start 13th. Ian's got him rolling off the grid here, coming down the backstretch. They've got about 3/4 of a lap to get these cars straightened out, ready to go for tonight's 35-lap feature event here at Texas for the Dash4Cash series. Going to be a lot of excitement here tonight. A lot of side-by-side racing, and it kicks off now. 35 laps of Week 6 action is underway here in Texas. Ian Martin, Carl Statton side-by-side as they come across the stripe. You see some 3-wide action back there through the pack a little bit. Got tightened up to 2-wide. That's Bill Watkins, Andrew Frelling, Christopher Bedwell back there fighting it out, but getting it sorted early. Carl Statton neck and neck with our leader, Ian Martin. Still 3-wide back in the pack. The cars are spread out right now based on the start. Ian Martin got them rolling well here. But as you see, they're starting to gain back up. That's Carl Statton on the outside. Not lost a whole lot of ground since the start of the race. That's Ryan McCall. William Alcala in 4th. This group of drivers was caught back up to our leader, Ron McCall. He's sitting back there just a little bit. Jonathan Meacham and others, they're all sitting back towards the rear of the field. You'll see a lot of drivers play a little bit of strategy, not unlike super speedway racing, in the sense that hanging out in the back is not always the worst idea. These drivers putting up really quick laps here. Jonathan Meacham putting up the fastest lap of the race in 36.509. That just shows you the draft is working. He is currently up to 5th right now. The top 6, side by side, all the way back. That bottom line, really going to be the shortest way around this racetrack, but the outside line, Carl Statton. I believe that's Jonathan Meacham up there as well. Those drivers know that outside line, you don't pinch the car down in the corner as much to keep the RPM up. Whoa, Carl Statton making a move on the bottom. But you see that RPM stay up, therefore the speed stays in the car. If you can finesse the wheel, if you got a group of drivers, that outside line can come in. As you see, Carl Statton really hasn't lost a whole lot of time since the start of the race. He is in and out on that bottom line. William Alcala, though, he is up to 2nd. Had a strong run thus far as we've began lap 5 of 35 for tonight's Dash4Cash series. Right here on the Sim Racing News Network, home of all sim racing news and broadcast. Again, bringing you 5 nights of racing action each and every week on all 3 social media streaming platforms. That's Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can check us out online, simracingnews.net, as well as any of those other platforms. Top 4 now, single filed out, but one thing I just noticed, the rest of the field is caught up. That's Rod McCall. That's Meacham. That's Bedwell up there. That's Wyatt Martin, all starting to catch this lead pack of cars. Again, these cars, while they seem a little unorthodox on some of these bigger racetracks, it lends to a lot of this side-by-side action as you see Bedwell get close to the bottom. That 01 car. But it lends to a lot of wide open racing, and these drivers really having to be up on the wheel, managing their line, managing their tires, and managing their car. This is not a short sprint. This is 35 laps in the street stocks here at Texas. You're not going to find this anywhere else. The Dash4Cash Series drivers certainly know how to put on a show. Top 5 is singled out. But you've got Christopher Bedwell, Ron McCall, Wyatt Martin all in the back end of this pack. Separated by about 10 car lengths or so is Chud Bassett and Bill Watkins, about another 10 behind him. They have not lost hope in the front, they have not lost this front pack here. Let's ride on board with Carl Staton tonight. Carl not afraid to take it outside. On pretty much any track here, and you're seeing that right now. As he's working the outside of William Alcala down the backstretch. You see the outside line and the benefits it provides there coming to fruition as they get done, or they come near the end of that backstretch here in Texas. You see Staton able to really pull up on Ian Martin, but the corner, the shortest way around this racetrack is, you can't take that away. That is certainly a benefit to Ian Martin right now. Does the tires hold on? Is Ian Martin going to start getting tight on the bottom as the race progresses? We're going to find out. As we are working on lap 10, and most of the top, let's see, that's what's 8 cars right here. You can put a blanket over. Ron McCall hanging out back. Again, you'll see a couple of these drivers make super speedway strategy calls here by staying in the back, keeping the nose clean, keeping the car clean, just kind of figure out what you got, maybe keep the heat out of the tires a little bit. Just managing the car as best as you can. Carl Staton holding that car fairly straight there. Looks like that's Ron McCall on the outside with him. Hanging tight. In the meantime, Ian Martin uncontested for the lead after the first few laps there. William Alcala settled in right behind our leader. Jonathan Meacham, we talked about how vital that draft is. Jonathan was able to utilize that, put down some quick laps. He is currently up to third. As William Alcala looked underneath Ian Martin there coming out of turn 2. Riding on board William Alcala behind our leader Ian Martin. See him hanging on to that bumper. Trying to make sure he avoids the advances of Jonathan Meacham as the laps continue to tick down here in Texas. There'll be a lot less giving, a little more taking. That inside line move will eventually lead to something. Bedwell gets a little tight. That's one of the first times we've seen that tonight on the outside. Wyatt Martin there. He backed out of it to get back behind him. But they're going to fall back a little bit, lose a little bit of ground. Meacham giving space to Alcala on the bottom. Again, creating a little bit of a gap there. They know they've got this core group of drivers here together. There's no point in getting too wild right now. And caution's out on the racetrack. James Batzer is slow, as well as Chud Bassett. Let's go back and take a look at the replay here to find out exactly what occurred, as we are under caution for the first time tonight on lap 15. Chud on the outside as they come out of turn 4. Oh, looks like, was that Bill Watkins? That was Bill Watkins. Looks like he got checked up on the front stretch, and that's going to affect James Batzer as well as Chud Bassett, as we're under caution for the first time tonight here on lap 16 of 35 for the Dash4Cash series at Texas. Let's take a look at our running order right now. Ian Martin currently scored your leader. William Alcala is second. Jonathan Meacham in a third place. Christopher Bedwell, after starting near the rear, he is up to fourth. Ryan McCall is rounding out the top 5. Another one of the drivers, one of the Martins, Wyatt Martin, is starting 6th. And Carl Staton, after fighting for so long on that outside line, he has settled back into 7th. Ron McCall is 8th. Derek Batzer 9th. James Batzer is 10th. Bill Watkins is in 11th right now. He's looking like he's trying to catch the field after trying to take some repairs to bring out this caution. Chud Bassett is going to be in the pits right now, currently scored 12th. And Andrew Frelling, 8 laps down, now 9 laps down, is going to be 13th. Again, this field, no shock that tonight's event has been a lot of action all over the racetrack already. If you missed the beginning of the broadcast, I talk a lot about just come here and have some fun and just drive your heart out. And that's what the Dash4Cash series is all about. It is a pay-to-play league. You pay a $10 entry fee, but the top 3 positions pay out in prizes each and every week. And Ian Martin does a really good job of putting together a show that is like a lot of you won't see on iRacing, and he does it in a very professional manner. They manage this league. Again, it's pay to play each and every week, but they also have points and a championship at the end that will also pay out additional, including, I believe, a plaque or a trophy. So that's really cool. Really exciting to see Ian Martin able to put together a really solid league. Each and every week when we brought these broadcasts, when we have hosted these broadcasts before on the FBN, you've seen a lot of exciting side-by-side finishes, passes for the lead at the end. You've seen a lot of action all over the racetrack. And tonight, I imagine, will not be any exception. And then, obviously, we appreciate Ian Martin bringing the SRN on board many weeks ago to cover all the action here for the Dash4Cash series. And I'm also sure he wants to thank Jason DeLuna. Jason, a sponsor, premier sponsor of this group, helping them put on the races each and every week. Want to say hello to him and thank him for coming on board, giving these drivers an opportunity to go racing in the street stocks for the iRacing Super Stock League. under caution, like I mentioned, for the first time tonight here in Texas for the iRacing Superstock League. This is week 6 of 8 here at the Legacy, Texas. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Once we go back green flag racing, there'll be less than 15 laps to go. And as I mentioned earlier, the give and take is going to continue to get shorter and shorter and shorter. A lot less guys are going to be eager to let somebody in or stay off the bumper of them. And I believe we'll see that firsthand. William Alcala was starting to look underneath. I imagine probably trying to see what the car was going to do as he works down the backstretch and on the bumper. Working through some technical difficulties here tonight at the SRN. I appreciate everybody's patience. Again, simulcasting on all 3 platforms, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. For your viewing pleasure, whatever works for you there. We'd appreciate all the support across either the page or the channels. If you're looking on YouTube or Twitch, if you'd like, or follow us or subscribe for more content just like this. We're going to bring you 5 nights of racing action each and every week, starting with the trucks on Monday. We're going to be broadcasting rather, a really great Radical League on Tuesday nights in just a few short weeks. Xfinity action on Wednesday night. And then coming right back here in the Dash4Cash series to end our week. It's going to be a lot of exciting action coming up in the next couple months for the SRN. Pace car lights are off. That means they're going to go green flag racing next time by. Ian Martin has elected to take the bottom of the racetrack. You haven't really seen him leave the bottom tonight. And he's going to get them rolling. Green flag racing right now. On lap 21 of 35 here at Texas. Ian Martin able to walk out to a 4-car length lead over William Alcala. The top three, yeah, they're single filed out. Jonathan Meacham able to get clear of Bedwell on the outside, but Bedwell's looking outside. He's starting to make a move. You see a lot of these guys starting to jockey for their positions of where they want to go. Wyatt Martin on the bottom. He's now to the bumper of Meacham. That's going to leave Bedwell by himself on the outside. Alcala got a great run off of 3 back to the bumper of Ian Martin. That draft coming in handy there. These cars snaking around this racetrack. Wyatt Martin, he's able to sneak his way up to 4th. It's Ryan McCall and Carl Staton back there. Bedwell is starting to fall back. He is now back in 7th on the outside line. This gave the opportunity for the rear pack here to pick back up and get caught up. They are now with the leaders as most of the track here is single filed out. Bedwell is the only car on the outside. As I see that, Staton pops up there. Staton and Bedwell looking to pioneer their way to the front. What can they do? 13 laps left here at Texas. Watch that move right there. Alcala really dips to the bottom. You saw Ian Martin had to move down. I imagine if Alcala would have continued, he would have been at the quarter panel of Ian Martin, and they would have had a contest going into 3. We'll pay close attention. That may be the winning move for William Alcala tonight as he's sitting in 2nd. Carl Staton, Chris Bedwell back there, not doing a whole lot on the outside. They're currently scored 6th and 8th. Carl not having a whole lot of luck here in the later part of the race. You can tell the tires are a little worn. And he's not able to make anything happen as much as he was early in the race on that outside line. Bedwell looked like he was going to think about going 3 wide there with Staton, but thought better of it. We saw Alcala really bring that line zigzagging down the backstretch. As you can tell, these drivers are starting to jockey for position. They're looking for any and all opportunity to get moved around here, to find a place where they know they can make a pass, get the nose in behind the car in front of them, and get them out of the groove. Alcala really dipping to the bottom there, but back to the bumper. Have a car width on the outside now. Ian Martin holding steady on the bottom. Right there on the apron, though, the shortest way around this racetrack here in Texas. He's right on board. William Alcala once again. This is where he'll get that run. Really dips that car down to the inside. Gets a strong pull right back to the bumper of Martin. Oh, a couple cars out of shape back here. That looked like that was Bedwell. And Derek Batzer, maybe? No, it was not. I believe it was Derek Batzer. Yeah, Bedwell and Batzer were pretty wide and looked like they were running tight in 3 and 4. They got it sorted out. In the meantime, Alcala let a gap form between him and the leader. Is that going to form a run here? Doesn't look like he does at that time. Super speedway mindsets are in play here. The strategy is the same as well. Utilize the draft to get by the guy in front of you. William Alcala has been working that car down the backstretch all over the bumper of Ian Martin. Is he looking for a way to get by here in the closing laps? We'll continue to watch that, as we are less than 10 laps to go here in Texas for the first event for the Sim Racing News Network. Field starting to get pretty widespread here, a little sporty. That's Bedwell making some fast pace on the outside. Carl Staton is settled on the bottom. Bedwell is in 5th right now. On the quarter panel of Wyatt Martin. Wyatt picking up the pace, now back to the bumper and Meacham. Meacham has had that spot uncontested for a little while now. We're going to see what these drivers begin to do here as the top 6 are starting to tighten up as these laps begin to come and begin to close here at Texas. 6 laps to go. Ian Martin won the heat event pretty much sideways across the stripe. Didn't have the fastest qualifying time, but so far tonight, he has led every lap. What's it going to take to get him off the nose of these cars? We're going to find out. If anybody has anything for him here at just 5 laps. Bedwell, he's up on the high side. Oh, he's going to make contact with the wall. That's going to bring Alcala up, though, to protect a little bit. Wyatt Martin got tied off into 1. In the meantime, Meacham is underneath Alcala. Carl Staton to the 4th place on the bottom. Derek Batzer now into the top 5. He's looking for a spot here. Ian Martin still your leader. 4 laps to go. Bedwell showing promising speed on the outside. Late in the run here. Looking to try to get alongside Meacham for 4th. The outside line not coming to fruition nearly as much as it normally does, but Alcala moves to the outside on our leader. Bedwell back to the bumper. Meacham to the bumper of Martin. The top 4, the top 6 are side by side. 4th position, 3 laps to go. Martin and Alcala side by side, rolling through 1 and 2. Oh, a little bit of contact there. That was Meacham and Bedwell. Bedwell sliding back. He's going to lose ground. They're still 3 wide, trying to sort it out for 4th. Meacham looks a little sideways on the corner. Entry was able to stick it there. That outside line now consisting of, that is Alcala. That is Wyatt Martin back in the picture. That's Bedwell on the outside line. 2 laps to go. Bedwell making a move back to the bottom. Half a lane under Meacham as they work into 1 and 2. Tied on the door of Meacham as Alcala, that outside line starting to slide back. Ian Martin uncontested on the bottom by a car length. Little bit of contact there. Alcala was able to save it. Wyatt Martin right on his bumper. This finish is going to be grand. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to see it in about 30 seconds. 1 lap to go. Ian Martin bringing Meacham along for the ride. Bedwell in 3rd. Alcala, he's falling back on the outside. Who's got something for Martin as they roll down the backstretch one last time here in Texas? Batzer on the apron. I'm sorry, that's Carl Staton on the apron. Nobody's got anything for Ian Martin right now. Right to the bumper. They're going to be too wide across the stripe as cars go flipping. Ian Martin, your winner. What a strong finish by Ian Martin tonight. Congratulations with him for winning tonight's event, Week 6 here at Texas. Let's take a look at the results for tonight's event. That's Ian Martin, again, your winner. Derek Batzer looks like he was able to score 2nd there. Jonathan Meacham 3rd. William Alcala 4th. Wyatt Martin 5th. Carl Staton 6th. James Batzer 7th. Ryan McCall 8th. Ron McCall 9th. Bill Watkins, coming home with a top 10. Christopher Bedwell 11th. Andrew Frelling and Shud Bassett's going to round out the field for the rest of the night, event here, as Ian Martin rolls to a stop at the start-finish line here in Texas. Again, Ian Martin scored our race winner tonight here in Texas for Week 6 of the Dash4Cash series. Putting together a really solid performance tonight. If you want to find out more information, you can head on over to iRacing. You can do a search in the league directory. Or you can do a search in the league directory for the Dash4Cash series. You can also, the iRacing Superstock League, the iSSL. You can also hit up Ian Martin on the forums. He'd be more than happy to get you connected and get you set up. Speaking of Ian Martin, let's talk to him right now in Victory Lane. Ian, congratulations on that win. A pretty much domination on tonight's field. Talk to us about how the car handled and how you were able to manage to get up there, just stay up there after that heat win.
Well, it was real close for the heat win. I honestly thought that Carl had got me at the heat. And it showed tonight that track position was everything. We got that caution around halfway, and I was debating whether or not I wanted to go in and get some tires because it was really loose and tight at the same time. If it's real loose around this track, and then if you got someone behind you, it's real tight, especially with pushers like William and Jonathan. They're real good pushers. So it was a fun race. I didn't think I'd be able to lead every lap like I did, but it was fun, and I'm glad I finally got another one.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, it looked like it was a lot different than any of the other tracks we go to each and every week. That outside line really kind of had a tough time forming. Looked like Carl Staton just after a couple laps kind of lost pace out there. Once you saw that happen, were you really worried about anything happening on the outside, or were you really more concerned about protecting the bottom throughout the event?
The whole race, I was hugging that bottom line. There was a couple times when William got underneath me, and I chopped him a little bit. There were some times where he got in my left rear, almost turned me, but we kept it straight, and it was a fun race. I just knew if I got off that bottom, someone got underneath me, I was screwed. I was going to get freight trained, and that's what happened to Carl several times I saw in my mirror.
Absolutely, and you're spot on. That outside line it was really weird tonight versus most of the other tracks we go to just did not come to fruition. Now, it was action-packed throughout the night, all the way through the heats and through the heat and then the feature event. Ian, what's the best way for somebody to get in contact with you or to join this group of drivers who bring these exciting races every Friday night?
The best way to get with us is look us up on Facebook. We have a Facebook page and a group called the iRacing Superstock League. Each night it's $10 to enter for our money races, and then on Sundays we run, and it's $15 to enter now. And we pay out depending on what we take in every single night, and it's a bunch of clean drivers, as you can see on the broadcast. So come have fun with us. We welcome newcomers, but you will be watched very closely by our admins so we can maintain a clean racing environment.
Ian Martin, tonight's winner for Week 6 here at Texas. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to talk to third place tonight, Jonathan Meacham. Jonathan, congratulations on that third place here tonight at Texas. Talk to us a little bit about how that car was really performing. You kind of seemed pretty comfortable there in third for a little while, but didn't really have anything there at the end.
Yes, sir. It was a blast. I've been trying to win in this series for like weeks, or not win, but at least place at top 3. So yeah, I mean, near the end, I was just watching the replay. I guess I bumped Ian a little bit, and then Greg got up into me and slung me up. But at the end, I was just holding on for dear life, just hoping to place in the top 3.
And it certainly looked like that. As Ian mentioned in his victory lane interview, the track seemed pretty loose all over the place tonight. Was there anything that you would have maybe looked back on in the last 5 laps you could have done any differently there? Were you pretty much locked in where you were at?
I mean, I was trying to wait to the last possible minute to get up past Ian. I didn't really mean to come out when I did. It was just I tapped Ian, and it kind of sent me back a little bit, and then Greg tapped me and just pushed me up out into the outside lane. But for the most part, if I could have just held it instead of bouncing out like that, I think I would have at least been up there beside Ian going across the finish line.
Jonathan Meacham bringing home a third place finish tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to also take a moment to talk to second place, Derek Batzer. Derek, congratulations on squeaking that one out. Talk to us about the car. You know, a lot of drivers talking about tonight how the car was loose pretty much all over the racetrack. Did you experience that, or what would you have done differently there at the end?
Oh, for sure, the cars definitely were loose. Figures tonight, the one time I beat Ian Martin for the pole, it doesn't matter. So I started out front in the heat race and had a little incident, so I had to start last. Didn't think I was going to be able to climb up through the field, but luck just kind of went my way, and I fought the race car the whole time and was able to pull off a second place finish.
Was any part of you, and Ian mentioned during that caution potentially coming down and taking tires, if you had to do it again, would you have gone down and take 4, or was it really going to be what it was going to be on the older tires?
Actually, I did come down on that caution and took 4 tires. That might have been the difference.
Yeah, you may have, because we certainly missed that. Well, it may have played the difference there. I brought you home a second place finish. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was Derek Batzer again, bringing home that second place finish. We're going to go ahead and step away from tonight's coverage. We appreciate everybody tuning in. On behalf of producer John Long, I'm Sean Fitz. We appreciate you tuning into the SRN. We're going to catch you in just a couple days with more exciting action when we bring trucks on Monday night.
Find me